You've got a solid offer, great videos, and know you can help people. So why isn't your content turning into clients? Most gurus say you need a bigger audience, but I've had clients with 2,000 subs hit $11,000 a month. That's because the problem isn't your audience size, it's that your viewers don't understand what you sell. To fix this, you need a video sales letter, or a VSL. This is a 10-minute video that sells your offer for you, and when done right, becomes your 24/7 sales team bringing you clients while you sleep. I've studied hundreds of VSLs from people like Alex Hormozy and Ed Lawrence, and I'm about to break down the 5 key phases to a great VSL so you can start turning views into clients. I call this the Campfire VSL because a campfire is a place where people sit together and share stories. Good stories build trust, making people feel hopeful and understood. So when people lean closer to the fire during a really good story, they get so excited they jump out of their seat and say, "I want to work with you." That's what a good VSL does. But what about a bad VSL? Well, in short, a bad VSL doesn't get you clients. It doesn't speak directly to your buyers, so it's impossible to build a relationship with them. You can't show you understand their pain or problems, so you can't give them hope they can succeed, and you can't build trust. It's like trying to sell a suit that's one size fits all. It won't fit your buyer's specific height or weight, and it will probably look pretty ugly. Just like a bad VSL, it's generic and it doesn't make your audience feel confident. But if you're selling a custom-made tuxedo tailored to fit them perfectly, it's going to be a lot easier to sell because it's made just for them. That's what a Campfire VSL does. It speaks directly to your buyer and shows you understand their pain and what they've been through. It gives them hope that they can succeed, and it makes them trust you without question. The 5 phases of your VSL takes them on this journey, and at the end, they feel excited to work with you. So what are the 5 phases? Well, phase 1 is attention. When someone first sees your VSL, they start at this first red circle on the diagram. They're in pain and they're struggling to overcome their problems. When they start watching your VSL, the attention phase immediately hooks them and makes them feel understood. And as a YouTuber, you already know how to hook your audience, but for a good VSL, there's 3 things you need in your intro to hook them properly. You need to address the 3 P's, which are person, problem, and promise. The person, who is your offer for? The problem, what does your offer help solve? And the promise, what will they get by watching this entire video? When you state this at the very beginning, your target buyers will know this is a custom-tailored tuxedo, not a one-size-fits-all suit. It's made exactly for them, so they're gonna want to stick around. For instance, if you help entrepreneurs improve their sleep, you might say, if you're an entrepreneur who struggles to sleep at night, you know how badly it hurts your business. You're tired, you can't focus, and something that should take you 30 minutes ends up taking you 2 hours to complete. But there's a simple solution, and in this video, I'll show you exactly how to get 8 hours of high quality sleep every night so you have the energy and focus to build the business you dream of having. You'll notice I hit all 3 P's in this very short intro. In the first sentence, I mentioned the person and the problem, entrepreneurs who struggle with sleep. Then I dig into their pain a little bit to emphasize the problem and hook them further. And finally, I make the promise that by the end of this video, they'll have a solution to fix their sleep. This is the simplest and most effective way to start your Campfire VSL. Once you have their attention, phase 2 is to build a connection. A connection means you have the emotional trust of your viewer. The reason this is so important is because people don't just buy things because it makes sense, even if it solves their problem. They buy things out of emotion because they want it. They feel like it's the right thing for them. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you bought something because you saw it and got excited, but a few days later, the excitement wears off? Maybe it was the newest iPhone, a designer jacket, or even a fidget spinner. The point is, people get excited when something captures their emotion, so building this connection will seriously increase your sales. And I'm sure that once they start working with you, it won't be like a fidget spinner where they get bored, because you're awesome and you're going to change their lives, and they'll be super happy they took the leap. So how do you actually build a connection with your viewer? Well, you have to accomplish 2 things. You need to make your viewer relate to you as a human and relate to your message. If they like who you are and what you stand for, Then you'll win their hearts and gain their emotional trust. And the way we do this is through the timeless art of storytelling. For your Campfire VSL, you want to share your origin story using the personal story arc. This arc covers 3 important elements that show your transformation: your painful past, your light bulb moment, and your wow now. When you cover all 3, your audience will see themselves in your story and think, this person was where I am now. They solved the problem, so let me see how they did it. And by the way, I know we're covering a lot in this video. I wanted to make sure you have what you need to actually go and make an awesome Campfire VSL, not some watered down tutorial that you can't actually use. So to make your life easier, I've outlined this entire process in a simple, easy to follow Notion doc. That way you can just pull it up while you make your own VSL and you don't have to rewatch this video 30 times. Although that would be great for my watch time, I'd rather make your life easy, so if you want it, I'll leave a link in the description below. Alright, so the first element of the personal story arc is your painful past. This is the awful situation you were in before you started changing. If you're a fitness coach, maybe you were skinny and insecure. If you're a dating coach, maybe you were too afraid to talk to girls and could never get a date. This makes your ideal client say, dang, that's exactly where I am right now, and they start to connect with you emotionally and you start to win their hearts. Then you introduce your light bulb moment. This is the exact moment that made you realize something needs to change. Maybe you read a book that opened your eyes, or were too embarrassed to take your shirt off at the beach and said enough is enough. Your audience probably had their own light bulb moment, which is why they're on YouTube looking for help. They'll relate to your experience, and this builds a deeper connection. Finally, you talk about your wow now. What's the incredible transformation you achieved, and how has it improved your life? This is exactly what your buyers want to achieve too, but they don't know how to do it yet. If they see that you've done it, they'll want to keep watching to learn how. And if you haven't achieved it yourself, that's okay. You can use the same story arc to talk about how you've helped other people do it, and it's just as powerful when building this emotional connection. Now at this point, your audience is feeling really good. You have their attention, they relate to your story, and you've built a strong emotional connection. But every good story has conflict, and that's why phase 3 of your Campfire VSL is called the Pit of Despair. In this phase, you dig into all the negative emotion your audience has felt while trying to solve the problem. Maybe it's all the bad advice that's out there on the internet. Maybe it's all the time they spent trying to figure it out on their own, but went in a big circle and got nowhere. Whatever it is, you want to remind people how hard it is to overcome this problem, and more importantly, that it isn't their fault. And you're not just being dramatic here. You talk about the pain for 2 good reasons. First, it shows that you really understand your buyer's problems. Not only do you know what they want to achieve, but you understand all the pain they've gone through while trying to do it on their own. This builds even more trust and connection. Second, you want to let people know it's okay if they haven't succeeded yet. Because success is hard. If it was easy, then everyone would be successful. But with the right support and guidance, they can overcome all their obstacles and be successful just like you or your other clients. This gives them hope that they can achieve their goals too. So even though it's called the Pit of Despair, it actually ends on a positive note as you bridge into the 4th piece of your Campfire VSL, the solution. Now that you've won the hearts of your viewers, it's time to win their juicy brains. This is where you show how your unique solution is going to solve their problem and get them the success they want. When you show your solution, you want to make it easy for them to understand how it will solve their problem. A simple way to do this is by using the 3-pillar solution. Everything starts with understanding the dream outcome your buyer wants, which you should already know if you've created your offer. We then want to break down the dream outcome into 3 major problems that your clients have to overcome so they can be successful. And these problems should be big. I'm talking about the biggest obstacles that people struggle with. If you're a fitness coach, maybe it's diet, training, and discipline. If you're a dating coach, maybe it's confidence, conversation, and consistency. When someone solves all 3 problems, they should be successful and get the dream outcome. And to prove your solution works, you simply break your program into 3 pillars. Pillar 1 solves problem 1, Pillar 2 solves problem 2, and Pillar 3 solves problem 3. You also show that if they fail to solve even one of these problems, then it doesn't work and they won't be successful, which you can see here by this terrible drawing I made where the roof is falling over because Pillar 3 is broken. That's a broken pillar in case it wasn't clear. If you've done this well, your viewer will be sold on your offer. They will trust you, trust your message, and trust your solution, and they should be ready to take action. This is the perfect time to move into the final piece of your Campfire VSL, which is Phase 5, Direction. Now that people want to work with you, you need to give them a clear call to action telling them what to do next. This sounds simple, but there's 2 things you can do to supercharge your CTA and get more people to book in a call with you. My number 1 tip is to show people that you aren't a thirsty salesperson who's going to bully them into buying your program if they jump on a call with you. Instead, let them know this is a call to help them. You'll figure out what's stopping them from succeeding, and even if they don't work with you, they're still going to leave that call with something valuable. This makes booking the call a lot less scary, and it makes them realize they're going to get another win by talking to you. Plus, there's no reason to be afraid. This alone will drastically increase the number of calls you get booked from your VSL. The second tip is to help all the procrastinators watching your video actually take action instead of waiting around and twiddling their thumbs. You can urge people to apply by adding scarcity or urgency. Maybe you can only take 5 calls a week, or maybe you only have 10 spots available in your program before doors close. Now, obviously, don't lie here. Otherwise, you're no different than the thousands of other fake gurus on the internet who give honest coaches like you and me a bad name. But if you're the only one taking calls and you don't have a sales rep, then it's true that you only have so many slots available in a week. So only add this element if it's actually true. Otherwise, it's better to leave it out because you're going to seem like a scammer. So let's say you've done everything I mentioned and created an awesome Campfire VSL that makes people excited to work with you. What do you do next? How do you actually get people to see it and turn those views into sales? Well, you have to put your VSL on a high converting landing page and drive traffic to it. And in this next video, I'll walk you through exactly how to build that landing page step by step, including the 5 pieces you must include if you want people booking calls. So if you want to start getting more clients, go ahead and watch that video next.